I'm Henry Fogel, and I've had a series of conversations with Richard Talaske, acoustician of Talaske Sound Thinking. And I want to talk with him right now about the subject of running liveliness. I'd love to ask you how you would define the difference between a good concert hall and let's say a good and a great concert hall versus an adequate concert hall or even a poor one. What makes a good or a great hall?
Mm-hmm. Well, Henry, this is my favorite topic, acoustics for concert halls. And really there are some fundamental issues that come into play with the design of a concert hall. The design actually manifests itself on how an audience member will enjoy the performance and how musicians can perform on stage. And there are certainly structural issues, you might say. The foundation of good acoustics is to have excellent clarity of sound. And of course, having sufficient loudness is important as well. And then there's a lot of talk occasionally about reverberation and reverberation time. Right. And when you have a concert hall that has good clarity and has some reverberation, generally most listeners will consider that to be a very good hall. However, there are a number of different characteristics that come into play that really separate a good hall from a great hall. And what we've learned over the decades is that there is a quality which we refer to as running liveliness, which really separates the good halls from the great halls. And what that is the ability to hear the reverberance as the music is ongoing. And when you can hear that reverberance, that liveliness of sound as the music is ongoing, that creates an excitement to the music that we think is extremely important, because people come to listen to a live event, and you want that kind of special characteristic to be there, to be present during a live event.
You talked about running liveliness. How do you get it? How do you design a hall to have running liveliness?
Well, when you understand that running liveliness is created from sound reflections that are occurring past that time period that's needed for clarity sound, and out to the time period of about a quarter or a third of a second past the creation of a musical note, then you understand that it takes the creation of long, strong sound reflections that arrive at the listener. And generally that involves developing a room of proper shape and size and selecting the materials accordingly to provide those strong and long-delayed sound reflections. And also, when you're designing a concert hall, it's very important to develop the opportunity for a multiplicity of sound reflections. And most generally, that requires that sound be sort of captured between sidewalls. Because when you think about it, vertically, there's little opportunity to truly capture sound because the audience is absorbing sound.
Right.
Also, if you look at the concert hall design from front to back, you'll find that often you have a balcony which is sound absorptive. So there's no opportunity there, little opportunity there to capture sound front to back. But between the sidewalls, you're able to create a multiplicity of sound reflections. And if you develop that carefully, you're able to provide sound reflections that occur long after the creation of the musical note, and that you can hear that because your hearing system is actually collecting information for a quarter or a third of a second before it becomes overloaded. And if you can fill that time period with abundant sound reflections, then you create the opportunity for this excitement.
This is Henry Fogel. Thank you for listening to our conversation.